Hello and welcome to Anunna Healing's video on tips for weight management and having a healthy body, because I'm really passionate about having a healthy mind, and of course they're just as important as each other. And it's also a journey that I've been on myself. So for 6 years I've now looked like this, and the tips I'm about to give you is something that I do every day. It's part of my life, so I'm hoping that it is just as beneficial for you. This is Neve. I call her the Yorkshire Pudding. She's overweight, bless her, but she's fine, aren't you? She's a good girl. She's brilliant. Anyway, I'm going to give you tips, and I'm also going to explain about what's happened to me in my life so you can understand where I'm coming from and how I've discovered these things. I used to be quite a big girl. I was top end of a 16 UK, and now I'm a size 8 UK, so I'm pretty much half the size I were. I used to have a lot of health issues as well. I used to have fibromyalgia, so I felt like a 90-year-old woman basically my whole life. And it's just something that I thought you had to live with basically, until I had therapy, hypnotherapy, and realised just how important it is to actually take responsibility for your own body as well as your mind. So part of the training we did in a child work, we did a whole weekend on it, and we actually did it ourselves. So I dove straight in there and I gave it as much as I could, and the inner child work was some of the most profound healing work that I've ever had, and it allowed me to realise that I needed to take responsibility for my body. So that's how I started my it's not even a weight loss journey, because I never started out to lose weight. It was taking responsibility for my body because I just didn't want to feel ill anymore. So one of the tips I will give you as well is, if you're in a high stress environment or you are a stressed person, cortisol is going to actually help you form belly fat. So if you're someone that's got what call a shield around their midriffs, if you carry all your weight around your midriff, it's probably because you're really stressed. And there's even studies now showing how other people can affect you physically. So if you sit next to somebody that's really stressed all the time, you're going to pick up on that, and that's going to have a profound effect on you. So if you have got issues from the past, or you're particularly stressed now, I really suggest get therapy. You don't have to do traditional talking therapy, you don't have to do hypnotherapy. We're lucky to live in a day and age now where there is 1,000,001 different ways of therapy. You've just got to find the thing that works for you. But please find the thing that works for you and then do it, because the knock-on effect throughout the whole rest of your life is going to be very profound. So yeah, be careful of stress and cortisol, and do your own research on these things as well. So if I'm saying something that resonates, go and find your own studies, sources, books, experts, just to get a better understanding of what's going on in the processes that happen inside your body and mind. I say it all the time, knowledge is power. So please gain some knowledge on the areas that you need knowledge in, because we're all different, and especially if you live at the other side of the world than my cloudy England, then you're going to have to adapt what I'm saying to benefit you. So hydration. Now, drinking water is something that I've had to teach myself to do. I was never really good at looking after myself. So what I've found is drinking out of glass bottles like this, not plastic. There's loads of studies now about microplastics. So especially if you're a man, drinking out of plastic bottles can affect your testosterone. So if you are a man that's balding, for instance, and you don't understand why, it may be worth going and getting your testosterone levels checked out just to be safe, and then that's something that you might be able to change. Might be as simple as that, you never know. But please be aware of drinking out of plastic. It's not the best. And the glass is really clean and fresh, and it's just really nice anyway. So you might be hungry. You might think you're hungry when actually you're just thirsty. So I carry one of these with me everywhere I go to remain hydrated, and also electrolytes as well. That's just as important as hydrating yourself. So there's another tip for you. So once I'd done my therapy and I realised I wanted to take better care of my body, I then started to eat really slowly and consciously of the food I was putting in my mouth. And I found really quickly that a lot of food was giving me stomach ache. I'd feel heavy and lethargic and just crap, basically, not how you want to feel after you've eaten a meal. I stopped eating meat for 4 years. That was just something that happened to me because I was getting really bad stomach ache. So I stopped eating the meat. I still ate fish and dairy products. I ate the fake meat, which is another thing I'm going to talk about. Please don't eat that fake stuff anymore, ever again. This is where I take responsibility. I should have looked into what the fake meat products are actually, instead of just believing the marketing. I thought it was a natural protein. It turns out it's actually really highly processed stuff that you just don't put it in your body. I recommend a healthy, varied, round, balanced diet. So I do eat dairy, I do eat sweet things. I'm still a big sweet eater, but the difference is now is I don't want the full cake. I just want a little slice and I'm completely satisfied. I don't want a big bar of chocolate. I'll have a little bar of chocolate and I'm completely satisfied because I'm savouring it, I'm eating it slowly. My cravings are being satisfied a lot. And because I have got ADHD, I recently discovered, the chocolate's really good for my dopamining. So I'm incorporating when I'm having chocolate to line up with when I need to do a bit of concentration and things like that. So learning that has really helped me adapt that part of my what I eat. So that might work for you. If you have got ADHD, that might be something to incorporate into your diet. I don't go to fast food restaurants. I haven't touched any of the famous food chains for over 6 years now, and I don't miss it at all. In fact, when I see an advert about it, I can feel my throat closing up because my body is just repulsed that much by that type of food. There's nothing better than home cooked fresh food. And be really mindful of these adverts and on social media of these people pushing those powdered protein drinks as meal replacements. I'm genuinely horrified by that. At what point in a society do we get where it's frowned upon of having time to cook yourself an actual proper meal? Why is it acceptable to be pushed and pushed and pushed and put everything in front of, like work for instance, in front of having time to just prepare a meal? It doesn't have to be a fancy Michelin starred meal. It's just cutting up some veg, cutting up some potatoes, putting a joint of meat in the oven. Why is that such a bad thing that people are now pushing, have this protein shake and that's your new food and you can go about your day and be really busy and super busy and meetings, blah, blah, blah. That's crazy. You should always prioritise the fuel that you put into your body and your family's bodies. It's not setting good eating habits by showing children and teenagers, people who are vulnerable at that point, that drinking these drinks is sustainable and healthy for the body. It's not. Which also brings me on to my next point of fat reduced food, margarine, horrifies me. So what they do in order to give you a 0% fat product or whatever they're pushing is they actually strip out everything that has actually got any nutrition in it at all. Then they then have to pump it full of chemicals and artificial things in order to make it taste palatable enough for you then to eat it. Can anybody explain to me how that's a good thing? So promise me you will never buy 0% fat or fat reduced items or margarine or anything like that. You need full proper butter for a start. So promise me never ever get or put into your body reduced fat, 0% fat. It's just not appropriate at all for your body. Because you're eating smaller amounts of the proper food, you won't need to buy that artificial crap. How can your body process artificial chemicals? If you're shopping and you see on a packet of food and there's a list of ingredients like that, and then you can't pronounce half of the stuff that's in your food, how are you going to then put that in your body as though that's a good thing for your body? You need whole foods, not processed. It doesn't take a long time to peel vegetables. It doesn't take actually a long time to prepare wholesome, good meals. It is very much doable. You've just got to put the effort in and adapt your lifestyle, because it's vitally important. It really is. Like calorie counting's another con. It's one of the biggest lies told to people, and especially women. Calorie counting constantly, especially in office jobs. Always on a diet, always calorie counting. Oh, I can't have this yogurt, it's got 10 calories in it. It's bizarre and it's not a sustainable, happy way to live. Are these people happy? No. You shouldn't need to calorie count. If you're eating the correct food and eating slowly, your body will tell you when it's had enough. The biggest thing I think with like my culture, for instance, is if you're brought up with you need to clear your plate, so you weren't allowed to leave the table or whatever until your plate was empty. But if you've got a big pile of food like this, how is that beneficial? So it is perfectly okay to leave food on your plate. If you've finished eating, leave it. You can chuck it away, you can save it for later, you can put it on your compost pile, you can do something with it. It's not actually wasted. It's more of an insult to your own body by force feeding it things it doesn't want, and then you expect it to do something with that food. What's it going to do? It stores it as fat, and then you're back to square one again. So don't feel pressured by other people into eating things you don't want to, eating when you don't want to. Because again, another thing in our culture is we're quite hospitable people. So if you come round to our house, you'll be offered food and drink, and that's in a lot of other cultures as well. And it's a really nice thing to do. Of course, it's polite, but you shouldn't then feel pressured into accepting something that you don't want. So no thank you, I'm not hungry. No thank you, I'm not thirsty. That's perfectly fine, and people need to listen to that and respect it. If you've said no politely, it's no. Especially if they understand that you are on a weight management journey, you are looking after yourself. If those people start forcing you, then that'll show red flags on their behaviour rather than yours. So please just be strong with yourself, and you're doing it to protect yourself. You're not being nasty, you're not being rude. You're literally just, no thank you, I don't want it. I don't get why that's such a bad thing in this day and age. So, and it can be difficult, especially for mums out there. My mum finds it very difficult that I don't eat as much. So it's always funny between me and my mum when I go and visit her. Do you need to eat? Have you had anything to eat? What would you like to eat? Would you like this? Would you like that? And I'm like, no, mum, absolutely fine, thank you. So you might come across that. But again, just say no politely and stick by your guns, and your body will genuinely thank you. It's a gift you're giving to yourself in order for every other area in your life to succeed. You can't look after your family, you can't provide for your family if you're ill all the time, if you are malnourished, if you're feeling sluggish and heavy and exhausted. This is all part of what you're doing to your body and what you're putting in it, and not living by someone else's standards. So I didn't go to the gym. I literally just focused on my mental health and the food I was putting into my body. As time changed, I then started to do Pilates and belly dancing, but I do that once a week at home. And that was again more just for mental health until we got the dogs. And then once we got the Malinois, don't need to do any gym. He's my exercise, he's my personal trainer. I am out for hours with him every single day. And I've never been as fit and healthy in my life, and I'm very grateful to him. But as a result of that, I now have a fairly high protein diet. So I have a lot of meat in my diet, a lot of eggs, things like that, because I need those I need that energy and that muscle to keep up with him. So that's what I've adapted. When I was doing my office job, I didn't eat nowhere near as much meat. I used to have a lot of shakes with like wheatgrassing and things like that, because I had quite a sedentary lifestyle for a long time. So I didn't need as much food at all. Whereas now I'm a lot more active, I'm eating more. So your lifestyle will probably change over the years, and if you're still eating the same as you were when you were a teenager living at home, it's probably not going to serve you well now. So it's worth just having a sit down and a think of, yes, exercise is vitally important, being outside is vitally important, but how can you incorporate that into your everyday life? And not having excuses, because it's so easy to just go, I'm tired, I don't want it, or I've had a shit day, I want to eat this cake, which is okay every now and again when life throws extreme circumstances at you. But on your everyday, today life, we don't need it, do we? Because you'll be out, you're stimulating your mind and things like that, I think really helps. And times of the year as well. So I'm currently filming in June. Still really cloudy for England. So you eat a lot less during the warm summer months. Your food's different, and then as it gets colder, you're going to naturally want more food. So in winter, eat more because you need fat in order to keep warm to get you through the cold months. A lot of people will have like salads and it's snowing outside. So how is that beneficial to your body? Is that really what it needs? And like in England, you know, it's cold and rainy all the time. It's really damp. So instead of a salad, I want a pie. A proper stodgy meat pie is perfect for the winter. That's British food. That's awesome. So in your culture and wherever you are, look into how you adapt your eating throughout the years. It's so important to do that, and it's so natural. It's what we've evolved to do, not being able to go to the supermarket whenever we want and get the same food every day of the year and think that that's natural and normal. It's not. So be open to change, be open to adapting to new circumstances along with it. What I do recommend is yogurt for a start with. If you do eat dairy, I have organic live biotic yogurt, because your gut is so vitally important, connected to your immune system and everything really. So you need to really feed the good bacteria in your guts. There's a couple of brands that I eat, but please look into your own. Anything with live biotic cultures, I think it's really good for your body. And locally sourced raw honey is one of the most powerful gifts we've been given in regards to nutrition. The reason why I say locally sourced raw honey is a few benefits to that. First of all, it's going to be jam-packed with antimicrobials, antibacterial, It's an immune booster, it's anti-inflammatory. It's just an incredible gift that we've been given, is local raw honey. But also using locally sourced honey is the fact that those bees have been in your local environment, and so the pollen that they're using is pollen you'll be coming into contact with. So if you do suffer with hay fever, it's worth having locally sourced raw honey to build up your antihistamines against that pollen, because it'll be used to it. It'll know that it's there as just a normal thing, rather than it sensing pollen and then your body having an allergic response to it. So I definitely recommend that. You can also use raw honey on wounds. We treat it on ourselves, and we use propolis and raw honey on the dogs and the cats as well. We all get used on us. So it's got so many health benefits, and you're also supporting a local beekeeper as well by doing so. And you cannot beat local honey. The flavours, incredible. So those two things I genuinely swear by for keeping your immune system boosted, keeping hay fever at bay, healing you, recovery after like a cold. And also, if you have to have a course of antibiotics, the antibiotics are going to kill all bacteria in your body, not just the bad bacteria causing you illness. And so once the course of antibiotics is finished, you really need to pump the good bacteria into your body, which is where the yogurt comes in really handy. If you are vegan, then you'll have to find your own live biotic sources, but you need that live biotic in your system to keep you boosted, in my opinion. So I hope that helps. I wonder if I've missed anything. You know me, I probably have missed something, but you've got the main things: keeping hydrated. The food you put into your body is so important. So please promise me you're never ever going to buy reduced fat processed things again. Whole foods as much as possible, and take responsibility for your body, and know that you don't have to feel like crap. I don't suffer from fibromyalgia anymore. I don't feel like a 90-year-old woman. I feel glowing, I feel happy, I feel light and energized, and that is it's not addictive, but it really spurs you on, because why would you want to feel any other way than how I feel right now? And so if you are watching this and you have got a lot of health issues, that shouldn't be an excuse. That should be the driving force in order for you to change. And the therapy, like I said at the start, is what's going to be the catalyst and really superpower all those changes that you really need to make. So yeah, I hope that's it. If I do remember anything else, I will put it in the description box. If you would like a hypnotherapy, weight loss or weight management audio track, there is Time for Change, which I will link in the description box as well. But find what works for you. Don't be afraid to adapt things to make them work for you. Yeah, locally sourced food as much as possible. And sleep. It's really important to get a good night's sleep as well. That'll help with your stress and your cortisol. And bad sleep, poor sleep will has an effect on weight gain. So sleep is really important as well. I think I'm going to stop rambling there. And I hope you find it beneficial. And there's no excuses. If I can do it, you can do it. There really, really is no excuse. Just don't leave it as long as I did, and enjoy life while you can. Every day is a blessing. Whether you are a spiritual person or an atheist, everybody can agree that this body, your body, is a miracle. The fact that you are here today, the amount of activity that is happening in your body to keep you alive and keep you ticking over is incredible. Why wouldn't you want to respect your body? when it's doing so many things for you. That's how I see it anyway. And it's served me pretty well so far. So, on that note, take care. Good luck with your weight management journey and your therapy and whatever else you need to do. Good luck with it. I wish you all the best, and please let me know how you get on. Take care. Bye.